So the first game I can remember playing was the Italian Job on the PlayStation 1. So I'm 26, so I'm basically an old man now. I started gaming with my dad, my brother, and my sister. We played Tarzan, the Italian Job. We had this old Simpsons game that was on the floppy disk for this old PC we had, which never worked. So to begin with, we had a shared PlayStation, which was in our kitchen. We'd play it before school, and I can remember how we didn't have a memory card. So every time we got back from school, we had to start again. So once I got old enough, my dad did get me the original Xbox with 2 chunky controllers, and we would rent out games from Blockbusters every single weekend. And then in time, that got me into Simpsons Hit and Run and Medal of Honor. Each weekend we would play, we'd get dominoes, we'd try to complete the missions, and week in, week out, we would slowly get better. Fast forward a couple of years to the release of Call of Duty World at War, and I was already into massive shooter games. I was a nerd for shooters. Me and my friends would already spend hours playing COD 4 the year before, playing split screen on a tiny TV until we all got Xbox Live and played together like that. So you know, World at War, zombies, everything like that. At that time, the gaming scene was perfect. You had so many different games out at the time, like Assassin's Creed, Halo 2, you had GTA 4, GTA 5. So with the COD 4 the year prior, we'd literally spend hours finding glitches after school. And then once we did upgrade to Xbox Live, we got Modern Warfare 2, and we realised sort of the meaning of sniping. Everyone started sniping and trick shotting. You'd get in the drama on Skype, you'd get into the toxic COD lobbies, you'd get into people with weird gamer tags. None of it's funny, but it's crazy how different things were even 5, 6, 7 years ago on Call of Duty compared to what it is like now. If you had to say one thing nowadays on a game, you'd get banned in the voice chat, wouldn't you? It's ridiculous. So after school, we'd go to our friend Isaac's house, we'd make a 6-man party, play Search and Destroy, and we'd try and quick scope someone for the final kill cam. Just funny stuff back then. We'd do that for years. We'd literally make little LAN parties in his house. How gaming used to be perfect like that. So other than the COD lobbies, I did mention we had games like Halo 2, Halo 3, the Ezio Assassin's Creed editions. You'd all play them as well. It'd be mental. When GTA 5 came out as well, everyone doing all the heists together. Oh, it was perfect. So in my opinion, the early 2010, like, they had the best games going, multiplayer and single player. It's just so advanced from 10 or 20 years ago. So in the 90s, you'd have Pong. And how do we go from Pong to 15 years later, we'd have Star Wars Battlefront? Do you know what I mean? It's crazy stuff. And then it's just mental how that period was perfect for gaming. You'd pay for what you got. You'd pay the 60, 40 pounds. You'd get what you got. You'd get Black Ops 2 back in the day. You'd get the full game, get a couple of zombie maps. Nowadays, you can't even buy a game without having to spend an extra 30, 40 pound on extra items you shouldn't have to buy. It's just ridiculous how it is nowadays. You didn't have to worry about specific DLCs not making your game work, or that you need to do a massive update or have some massive cosmetic items. I know DLCs were prominent back then too, but it was like a pick and choose. You didn't need to have them. So I'd say around 2015, I mean, a lot of people quit. You'd play COD and a lot of people quit. It just got boring as fuck. Once sort of Call of Duty Ghosts came out, or Advanced Warfare, that's when gaming dropped, in my opinion. All the games sort of became pay to win. You'd get the loot boxes, you'd get the gambling sites, you'd get this and that. You think, what is this all about? I just simply want to play Call of Duty. I don't want to have to pay £10 to get a gun, which is better than the guns I can unlock normally. You know what I mean? People didn't like the fact. I'd say there's 2 games, in my opinion, which sort of bypass that. So Ghost of Tsushima and Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. In those 2, in my opinion, you get games like that, or Dark Souls, or the Souls series, or you'd get Skyrim. Those games, or Fallout as well, those games stay in a little box. They were all good by themselves. But you see, all nowadays, all they do is remakes. They just try to remake the same bit. Like that, those sort of games were the most fun I had of modern gaming. I think the key difference between gaming now and then is the originality. So now we just get remakes or remasters of games from years before. But back when we were kids, or when I was a kid, you'd get games with originality. The little army games, the Toy Story games. It was all original. Now it's just all copies of what we used to have, and it doesn't really work. So I generally do think, unless the big companies start to care, I think gaming's really gonna go in a weird direction. Gonna go in a weird way. It's gonna all be pay to win. I think we need, unless it's sort of like an indie developer with a really good game, or Dark Souls. I don't think a lot of games are going to be good in the future. It's going to be ridiculous. And it's just a shame, really, because the gaming community care. They put billions of dollars into the industry each year, and all you do is treat them like shit. Prime example, look how the new Call of Duty's gone. Like, the last two Call of Duties are just fucking reskins of the same game. It's ridiculous. The new Assassin's Creed game's shit. Like, it's just, yeah, it's all money grabbing nowadays. I just hope it changes. I don't know how many of you agree or don't agree, but I think a lot of you will agree, just due to how shit gaming is. Like, that's literally why I play the old Call of Duty still, because it's just nostalgic, it's a bit of fun. I don't realise I'm not halfway in the game and I get a message telling me I need to pay £20. Or, even with the free games nowadays, there's an update every fucking 15 minutes. It's just crazy. But yeah, I really do hope modern gaming does change. Let me know what you think about it. It's been your boy, Respect.